From Jess Phillips to Keir Starmer, political reactions to Gregg Wallace controversy. Jess Phillips has become the latest prominent politician to criticize Gregg Wallace, stating that the MasterChef host missed the perfect opportunity to say nothing. The typically forthright Home Office minister was measured in her criticism, expressing support for the BBC's decision to keep the cooking show on air while investigations are ongoing. However, her pointed remarks about Mr. Wallace's comments, where he attributed complaints to a handful of middle-class women of a certain age, place her among a growing number of Westminster figures addressing the issue. Below is a summary of key political reactions to the allegations against Mr. Wallace. Keir Starmer. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's official spokesperson condemned Mr. Wallace's remarks on Monday, describing him as completely inappropriate and misogynistic. The spokesperson added, "The Culture Secretary spoke with the BBC leadership late last week regarding this issue and broader workplace culture concerns, seeking assurances that robust processes are in place to address complaints." Clearly, the comments we've seen from Mr. Wallace over the weekend were completely inappropriate and misogynistic. Lisa Nandy. The Culture Secretary has not directly criticised Mr. Wallace. However, her discussions with BBC leadership about workplace culture coincided with the controversy. She met with BBC executives to ensure the ongoing review into workplace practices would deliver clear and timely recommendations, and requested an update on its progress. Rupa Huq. Labour MP Rupa Huq was the first politician to call for MasterChef to be taken off air. Speaking to Radio 4's Today programme, the Ealing Central and Acton MP argued that continuing to broadcast the show while Mr. Wallace is under investigation sends the wrong message and risks harming the BBC's global reputation. Ms. Huq said, "I understand, MasterChef is scheduled for 9 p.m. today and features prominently in the Christmas lineup, but it seems the issue isn't going away. It's number 2 on your bulletin. There's an argument for pausing the show until the investigation concludes and perhaps not airing it tonight." Although she welcomed Mr. Wallace's later apology for his ill-judged comments, she described the incident as a wake-up call for the broadcasting industry. More important than whether MasterChef airs, these allegations of behavioral impropriety in broadcasting must be addressed, she stated. Harriet Harman. Labour peer Harriet Harman echoed Ms. Huq's sentiments, urging the BBC to pull MasterChef and calling Mr. Wallace's remarks offensive and downright rude. Speaking to LBC, Baroness Harman criticised the host for offering what she described as a phony apology. "He's done this kind of phony apology, saying, 'I'm sorry if anyone's offended.' He needs to take responsibility, acknowledge his offensiveness, and recognize it's inappropriate for presenters to disparage their audience. I won't be watching. The BBC is showing disrespect by assuming such a half-hearted apology is sufficient to let him stay on air," she concluded. Jess Phillips. Home Office Minister Jess Phillips also weighed in, saying Mr. Wallace had missed the perfect opportunity to say nothing about the investigation. Speaking to Times Radio, she said, "I think I'll go back to my mother's best advice for Gregg Wallace. He missed the perfect opportunity to say nothing." She described his comments as sexist and less than helpful to him. She stressed the importance of the investigation, adding, "Gregg Wallace has the opportunity to apologize for any wrongdoing while the inquiry proceeds. If the allegations are substantiated, he should acknowledge his behavior and commit to change." Despite her criticism, she expressed no issue with MasterChef continuing to air, noting, "Gregg Wallace isn't the only person on MasterChef. If it were just his show, I could understand calls to take it off air. However, it serves as a launchpad for many young chefs. It's not for me to decide what the BBC airs." Phillips emphasized this point during an interview with BBC Breakfast.